Hey guys, Bipolar Barbie here. Now I wanted to talk to you about a particular issue that comes up so much. And it's like the hierarchy or significance, the scale of mental illness, which really frustrates the shit out of me. Particularly when people say things to me like, well, I have a mental illness too, but I just get on with my life. I just deal with it. It's like, okay, I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you can just deal with it, just get on with your life. I question how productive that might actually be for you. You know, when you see people that are suffering unnecessarily, it's like, help is available. Like, you can live a better quality of life. You don't just have to accept that this is all that you're going to be. I never accepted that. But at the same time, mental illness doesn't have the similar struggles. It might have similar struggles, but, when I talk about mental illness, I talk about things like bipolar disorder, depression. There are so many more that people don't realize are mental illnesses. And I've done a video on that. So I really encourage you guys to check that out. But what I really wanted to talk about today is particularly apparent, like with my father, for example. He suffers depression and anxiety. And he's very much in the camp, well, I just deal with it, so why can't you? Okay, first of all, depression and anxiety is very different to bipolar disorder, premenstrual dysphoric disorder, a really severe generalized anxiety condition. Everything else that I suffer is very different to just plain old depression and anxiety. Not taking away from their struggle, but, mental illness is not like, oh, I have depression, so everyone with depression has the same experience. No, that's definitely not the case. There is a scale. I mean, even in my own depression, there's like mildly depressed, medium depressed, and then like severely depressed, like rock bottom. And I see that as this kind of varying severity throughout each episode. And it's exactly the same. Just because you are diagnosed with depression, it might be a mild form of depression compared to someone else that has a very severe form of depression. And when there's different causes as well. My dad's depression and anxiety is situational because of his relationship issues, his life issues, his own demons, his own stress. His anxiety is stress provoked. And he gave me this whole speech about, you just have to, avoid, like, you have to deal with your anxiety. I deal with it every day, and he's like, I just get on with my life. And I said, Dad, you haven't actually dealt with your anxiety. The way that you deal with your anxiety is the way most people deal with their anxiety, which is just to avoid the things that make them anxious. Well, that's easy for you because the things that make you anxious are like a physical place, a physical situation. What makes me anxious is just generally being alive, is like being with myself. I can't run from myself. Like, believe me, I tried. And, that's why I question, really how effective are you dealing with your anxiety? You're not dealing with your anxiety. You're just avoiding the things that make you anxious. And since everything makes me anxious, then I actually do have to deal with it. I did the avoidance method, and then I literally avoided just living, and that didn't work for me. So I have to learn how to meditate. I have to learn my breathing exercises. I have to learn my thought challenging. I have to learn how to sit with my anxiety and push through it and deal with it, which is very, very difficult. I can't avoid going to the supermarket. Well, you know what I do. But, it's that effect on my life is really significant and it is really severe. My dad is and my sister is like, well, I've got a job and I've got depression, anxiety. So, you should just be able to hold a job and do this. And it's like, you know what? I have tried to hold jobs and it doesn't work. I have tried to live independently and it just clearly has not worked out. I have tried to just get on with it for so many years and it frustrates me just as much as it probably does you guys, if not more, that I can't just do those things. What I would give to just be able to do those things, but the fact of the matter is I've had to accept that I can't. It doesn't mean that I don't think maybe at some point in the future I might be able to, but at the same time, a lot of what I deal with is going to be there forever. I might get better at dealing with it. I might get, find some effective methods that really help me get some quality of life back, but it's always going to be there and it's never going to go away. And I think that's where the distinction, really clarifying mental health versus mental illness and defining and talking about each one individually is really important. I think that's the only way to deal with the issue. to educate people in that regards, that everyone is different, everyone's mental illness is different, there are different severities of it. Just the same way, you know, someone with autism or Down syndrome, you know, you can have mild autism or you can have very severe autism. You know, any medical condition you can have mild forms of or you can have very severe forms of. And I think people need to accept that about mental illness as well. That would make me very happy. So please, do that. Because it's really frustrating. People comparing their experience with mental health against, you know, my mental illnesses. Like, you can't compare bipolar disorder with just plain old depression. You can't compare schizophrenia or psychotic episodes with just being anxious. You can't do that, you know? But people will. And that's frustrating as hell. So thank you for listening to my video. Again, I don't know why I keep saying this, but apparently when you Google, like, how to YouTube, it's, like, the thing to do. So it's, like, whatever. Thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below. And just hit that subscribe button. Because that would be awesome, guys. Thank you.